The War Council chamber fell silent as Cub Varen stepped forward, his crystalline exoskeleton dulled with shame. The elder cubs watched him with multifaceted eyes that gleamed with disappointment and curiosity in equal measure. "Explain yourself." High Commander Zekthor clicked, his mandibles sharp with irritation. "Your battalion refused direct engagement. You retreated without authorization. You have brought dishonor to the Hive Collective." Varen's antennae drooped. How could he explain what he had witnessed? How could words convey the primal terror that had seized him when he saw them? The soldiers trained by Commander Rhea Solon. "Permission to speak freely, High Commander," Varen said, his voice chambers vibrating with barely controlled emotion. "Granted. And make it quick. We have a war to win." Varen's secondary arms trembled. "We cannot win this war. Not against them. Not against the human soldiers." The chamber erupted in angry chittering. Cubs did not speak of defeat. The Hive Collective had conquered 47 star systems in 3 generations. They had crushed the Melodic Empire, absorbed the Silicon Concordat, and driven the Flame Priest to extinction. They did not lose. "Silence," Zekthor commanded. He turned his attention back to Varen. "Continue." Varen closed his optical membranes, remembering. It was the 3rd moon of Keshar 7. We had cornered a human training facility. Intelligence reported only 1 human commander, this Rhea Solon, and 200 raw recruits from the local species. The Keshari. Soft creatures, herbivores. We expected easy prey. He paused, his breathing spiracles fluttering rapidly. We were 3,000 strong. Battle-hardened warriors. We had fought in the Scorched campaigns. We had breached the titanium walls of Morgath. We feared nothing. "And yet you retreated," Zekthor said coldly. "I am getting to that, High Commander." Varen's voice strengthened with conviction. "We approached at dawn. Standard pincer formation. Our scanners detected the Keshari soldiers positioned on the ridge, poorly fortified, seemingly unprepared. We charged. Varen's exoskeleton darkened, pigments shifting to match his emotional state, the blue-black of remembered fear. The first wave reached within striking distance. Then Commander Solon gave a single command. Just one word in that strange human tongue. "Hold." And the Keshari did something impossible. They stood their ground. 200 herbivores who had never seen battle, facing 3,000 hive warriors, and they did not break. They did not flee. Their hands did not shake as they raised their weapons. The council chamber had gone quiet again, but this time with rapt attention. "The slaughter should have been glorious," Varen continued. "We should have torn through them like wind through grass. But, High Commander, they fought like... He struggled for the word. "Like humans." Zekthor leaned forward. "Explain." "The Keshari are prey species," Varen said. "Their evolutionary biology is built around flight response. Every instinct in their soft bodies screams at them to run from predators. And we are predators, High Commander. We are apex hunters across 1,000 worlds. When we charge, prey species flee. It is the natural order." But Commander Rhea Solon had broken that natural order. Those Keshari soldiers stood in formation while we charged. Their fear pheromones were so thick I could taste them in the air. They were terrified. But they stood anyway. Not because they weren't afraid, because something stronger than fear held them in place. Varen's antennae quivered. "Do you understand what that means?" They were more afraid of disappointing their human commander than they were of death itself. More afraid of breaking formation than of our claws and mandibles. In 3 months, that human had rewritten millions of years of evolutionary programming. "The battle lasted 14 minutes, Varen continued, his voice hollow. "We lost 400 warriors. 400. Against 200 recruits who had never fired a weapon before that day. Every time we broke their line, that human's voice would cut through the chaos, calm, steady, implacable. And the Keshari would reform. They would advance. They would fight with a ferocity their own species didn't know they possessed." Zekthor's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "One engagement does not—" "There's more," Varen interrupted, a breach of protocol he would have never dared before. "As we retreated, I accessed the collective's tactical database. I looked for any record of human-trained forces. High Commander, there are 43 species across the galaxy who have been trained by human military advisors. 43, from the methane breathers of Titan's Deep to the crystalline monks of Photeris, and every single one of them fights above their biological capabilities, every single one." He projected a hollow display from his neural interface. The Yathani are blind, completely sightless. Humans taught them to fight using echolocation and coordinated squad tactics. They defeated our night legions, warriors bred specifically for darkness combat. The frail ones of Gossamer have bones like glass. They break if you touch them too hard. Humans put them in power armor and trained them in zero-gravity combat. They captured 3 of our dreadnoughts. Varen's voice rose with passion. Don't you see? Humans don't just train soldiers. They don't just teach tactics or weapon handling. They do something else. Something we don't understand. They find whatever tiny spark of defiance exists in a species, even prey species, even broken species, and they fan it into an inferno. The Keshari should not have been able to stand against us, he concluded. But Commander Riasolan taught them something that overrides biology, instinct, and common sense. She taught them what humans call courage, not the absence of fear, but the refusal to let fear control you. And High Commander, that is something we cannot defeat. The silence that followed was profound. Finally, Zakthor spoke, his voice uncharacteristically subdued. And this is why you refused engagement? Yes, High Commander. Because when I looked into the eyes of those Keshari soldiers, I did not see prey. I saw what they had become under human instruction. I saw warriors. And I knew that if herbivores could be transformed into something that terrible and magnificent, then we have not been fighting a war. We have been fighting a revolution. Varen straightened, accepting whatever judgment would come. The humans are not conquering the galaxy with fleets and firepower. They are conquering it by teaching every downtrodden species that they don't have to accept the natural order, that prey can become predators, that the weak can become strong. That fear is not destiny. I retreated, High Commander, because I finally understood what we are truly facing, and it terrifies me more than any weapon ever could.